What's going on, guys? Byron from ETA Kitchen. Today we're going to do some simple chicken stir fry. Let's get it. So for this one, we're going to have to do a from the side shot because as the wok is going, it kicks out a lot of heat and it's going to kick some oil and smoke up onto the camera, and I don't want that. So we're going to start with the basics. This is a carbon steel wok. I got a little bit of oil in it. Nothing fancy, just some canola oil, something like that. We've got all of our basics here for the sauce. The tomato ketchup, if you want to add a little bit of sweetness without putting a bunch of sugar into your sauce, you can add a little bit of ketchup. Got some oyster sauce, got some soy sauce, a little bit of garlic paste. I've got some red onion, there's brown onion, carrot, baby corn, and snow peas. Again, nothing fancy, right? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put the brown onion in there. All right. We've got our chicken, which has just been marinating in a simple sauce. And a little bit of cumin, because I like cumin. And a little bit of dry basil, because I like basil. So we're going to go ahead. Let's get after it. All right, so first we're going to do the sauce. I've got a bowl with just a little bit of sesame oil, nothing fancy. We're going to add some sugarcane vinegar, just a little bit. About like so. I don't really have any exact measurements. You just got to kind of feel it out by taste and go from there. A little bit of soy. We're going to use more of that later. And some oyster sauce, which tastes nothing like oysters, for the record. Just to kind of thicken everything up and give it a little bit of a smoky flavor. Now I am going to add about that much ketchup. That's it. This is the basics of our sauce. You can get more fancy. You can put a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice in it. You can add pepper sauce to it. You can do so many different things to it. But this is just your basic sauce. Nothing fancy. Some people put Dijon mustard in it. I've seen people put all kinds of stuff in it. At the end of the day, just put whatever you want. And if you like it, that's what matters. In this case, that's just about right. It's not overly salty. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly acidic. It's perfect. So, go ahead and fire up the wok. There we go. So we're going to heat this up. Sorry about the banging. We're going to heat this up until it's smoking. All right. And that's going to help give us our wok flavor. If you notice by the coloration of the pan, I've already gone ahead and seasoned it. I just picked this up last night. Oops. Technical difficulty with the pan. But you can see it's getting pretty hot, pretty quick. That was a user error, I apologize. So now you're going to see how to troubleshoot a wok. Back the handle off just a little bit, and I'm trying to do this without burning myself. And this little protective ring has to sit like so. Now it can go back together. I haven't owned a wok in a very, very long time, so please forgive me. Uncle Roger, if you're watching, it's all good. And if you guys haven't seen the Uncle Roger videos, Uncle Roger is hilarious. So now we're just going to heat this up a little bit. I've already got 2 little pieces of brown onion in there, and they're just going to kind of sort of tell me when the oil is about the right temperature. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw the meat in, and we're going to throw the veggies in a little bit after that. And that's all. After that, after the meat's cooked and the veggies are cooked, we toss it in the sauce and we're done. It's a very simple, very easy. If you've got rice, you can serve it with rice. If you prefer like noodles, you can serve it with some blank ramen noodles, for example, with no seasoning. Just serve it on the side. There's so many different ways to do it. There's no wrong way to stir fry. So you just kind of got to play with it a little bit and get it to where you like it. So as you can tell from the smoke, we're ready to add the chickens. Now we're going to bring the temp down a little bit. The trick is, so I'm going to take this off because I don't want to get any chicken juice on it. You're just going to kind of sort of, all this is, by the way, is this just a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of vinegar. Smells good. And that's it. I threw in a little bit of lemon pepper as well. You just kind of want to lay the chicken in slow. Don't want to go too fast. Spread it out. Because the pan is so thin, it gets hot really, really quick. Oh, try not to make a mess here. In the Byron kitchen. A bit of that. Never reuse your marinade with chicken, guys. Never, never, never. It's not safe. Consider it contaminated. And always wash your hands with soap and water after handling raw chicken. Now, because of the temperatures involved with a steel wok like this and the gas flame, what you want is you want to use a wooden spoon or a metal spoon. You don't want to use a plastic spoon. You can do it, but you don't want to melt that plastic. I've got the temperature down low right now just to kind of get it a little bit cooked, let some of the sauce and moisture cook out. You can turn up the heat and cook it a little bit faster if that's what you want, and we're going to do that here in a moment. So now we've got the meat. The meat's doing its thing. And we're going to kick the heat up. It's a little bit smoky in here because this is still a new season on the wok. This is actually the first time I'm really cooking with it. So it takes a little bit to really get that season in there nicely. I think I've done an okay job so far. And we're just going to move the chicken a little bit to the sides. So we're going to let that water, that liquid that's in the middle here, boil out. We're just going to let it do its thing. We're not in a rush. You will fly over. Come back. We're just going to let that do its thing. I added a little bit too much liquid. That was my fault. So now we're just going to kind of cook it off. And what's in there is going to kind of caramelize a little bit on the chicken as the chicken's cooking. And because of how thin the pan is and the high heat involved, the chicken's actually about halfway cooked already. Visually, we can find out with the handy dandy thermometer. Look at that. It's falling a little bit. Okay, I'm going to grab another piece. So we're almost there. The chicken's almost cooked to temperature, and we're just trying to let that and like I said, we're just letting the sauce boil out a little bit. And what we're going to do once the chicken is cooked is we're going to take the chicken out and put it off to the side, and then I'm going to cook the vegetables, and then I'm going to throw the chicken back in it. And just because I like broccoli, I'm going to add some broccoli. Unfortunately, I don't have fresh broccoli. I'm going to use frozen. That's okay. You can add cabbage to it. You can add all kinds of different vegetables to it. This is, like I said in the intro, this is alrighty, so as you can see, we've got the vegetables in. Took a little bit to thaw out the broccoli. And we're just going to go ahead and cook these. We're going to get the onions nice and brown. And about the time that the onions are nice and brown, we're going to go ahead and put that chicken back in, and then we're going to mix it up with the sauce. And we're done. So I added a tiny bit of water just to help with the cooking of the vegetables, soften them up a little bit. I didn't add quite enough, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Like so. That's going to help to steam them and keep them from burning. You don't want to add too much. And you don't want to add super cold water because I do have a little bit of oil in the pan, which just helps to keep everything from sticking to the bottom of the wok. And it's just some carrots, some onions, a little bit of broccoli, some snow peas, and baby corn. Nothing particularly fantastic. Now at this point, we're 1/3 of the way through cooking the vegetables. I'm going to add a little bit of this garlic paste. We're just going to mix that up with the vegetables. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. You want to add it little at a time. That way you never have to worry about trying to get rid of too much water. As you can see, I've steamed out all that water. I'm just going to add a little bit more. We're, I'd say, about halfway done with the veggies now. Really get that nice onion, garlic smell coming. Oh yeah. I'm using Indian garlic. I'm not using Chinese garlic, because I find that I prefer the taste of the Indian garlic myself. Everybody has different options. Just use whatever you have available. This is not... This show and these recipes here in the beginning, they're just your basics. This is the concept. You can make it mild to wild. You want to add mushrooms? Add mushrooms. You want to add watercress? Add watercress. You know, do whatever you want. Add whatever you want. But this is still your basic concept. You know, you can get the cool guys that are tossing the wok and all that stuff. I'm not here to try to do all of that. You gotta learn the basic fundamentals of how to cook something first. And then you can take it a step further. So I'm just gonna try one of these carrots for flavor. And we're pretty much there. So now we're gonna turn the heat down. We're gonna add our chicken back in. And this is where we're going to work on getting our wok, or the smoky flavor that goes with the stir fry. And if you have a non-carbon steel or cast iron wok, you're never really going to get a proper wok. Now, if Uncle Roger's watching, he's going to tell you to add some MSG. I don't really care for MSG myself, even though it's not bad. But we're just going to add a little bit of our sauce here. And we're just going to toss it. Bring the temp back up. Kind of sear the sauce a little bit. And it's going to give you a nice kind of smoky flavor, which is what you want. That's why you go through all the trouble of seasoning a wok, so that you can get the proper wok flavor, or wok as they like to call it. I don't know who likes to call it that, but that's what I've heard it called on the different YouTube channels, so that's what I'm calling it, wok. And that's it. That right there is your basic, everyday, super simple stir fry. I'm going to try it with a spoon because that's what I grabbed. It's all about using what you got. And yes, it's awesome. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I think the next time I do this, I'm going to take the baby corn and I'm going to steam it on the side and then throw it in. And I think I'll get a better result. But that's pretty darn good. So On a 1 to 10, I'd give that a solid 6.5 to a 7. Anyway, love you, Mr. Pandar and Mr. Llama.